Hello. Now, I'm going to be addressing two questions, both of them relating to NPCs, both asked from the same user, the Nosferatu. Now, these questions are pretty similar, and it's just dealing with creating NPCs. There's two methods you can do. There's one that I recommend for in general characters, just background characters that really only are seen when you first enter a scene. Bystanders at a bar maybe. So if your let's actually approach it like this. Let's say your party enters the bar, just some local bar, and there's 20 people in there. Well, you'll want to create maybe 5 to 10 NPCs in there, including the bartender and any other official people that they can talk to in that bar. The reason for that is if the players are going to interact with the other people in the bar. Now, if they somehow go above your 10-person limit, your however many person limit actually, on character creation or NPCs that you've created, you can on the fly create them. There's a character creation sheet thing, section of a sheet that you can use for improvisation on NPCs. I just say have a small number of 5 to 10 NPCs already made, including whoever you intend the PCs to interact with, not counting the primary antagonist and his henchmen, if that's something you're going to do. If it's a God Machine Chronicle and the primary antagonist is an angel, well, we're going to have to talk about ephemeral being character creation a little bit. Right now I'm working on building a mortal for character creation. I do have the first name written out there. Don't know if you can tell what that says. Right now it doesn't matter. Now, for the NPCs that they're going to interact with, the sheet that I want you to look at is not this one actually, it's this one. Right here in the human. This is what you're going to use for just random improvisation, and the characters that aren't going to have a whole lot of bearing on the chronicle. So back to the party entering the bar. This is the section, this small human block. That would be the section you'd use for the people your PCs will talk to who are not the bartender, waitress, bar owner, and whoever else you intend them to be speaking with. So even in that case, you don't even need to plan out entirely who you're going to have out there. You just need to make note of their name and concept and age. I do recommend always having age for your NPCs, so it doesn't break, so you can keep the feel of the scene constant and you don't break anything. So if you're in America, you can't be in a bar and be younger than 21. So as long as you don't make glaring immersion breaking things or things that will break the atmosphere, you'll be fine. You can do this one on the fly. So as long as you keep the number of people constant in the scene, so if there's 20 people at the beginning of the scene, you can have people come and go. It's just going to be a little bit harder for you to track who goes and who shows up. Make note. Always have like a notes sheet or notepad or something with you as a storyteller to make note of who the PCs have already talked to and what their name is and their personality. Now for the characters or the NPCs your players are going to interact with that you intend them to interact with, I recommend using the other sheet that you got a sneak peek of, this one. And you don't need everything here for these characters, so the bartender, waitress, and that, they don't need these dots unless, well, no, they kind of do need these dots plus skill dots that are going to pertain to them for possible roles that your players might make, say manipulation type roles or pickpocket roles or whatever. You want those characters to have dots at least, and with the other one, that's why in these dice pool areas you can allocate dots. I recommend doing that as well. So this could be your mental skills and attributes, physical skills and attributes, and social skills and attributes, and just fill those as you want. Primary, secondary, tertiary. You get the gist. This is also good for if your main antagonist. This is also good for main antagonists. Name, age, virtue, vice, everything like that, all the way down to merits, their traits, and possible conditions, aspirations, their description, what they look like, other information about them, in case the PCs try to look into them and dig up as much as they can about them. Now, if you're running a God Machine Chronicle and your primary antagonist is an angel, I'll get into the character creation for them in a future video. And if your main antagonist or your party is going to interact with supernatural beings, say vampires, werewolves, or Prometheans, right now those are the ones I have. I have Vampire the Requiem, Werewolf the Forsaken, and Promethean the Created. If they're going to, or even if you're going to have them interact with geists, mages, demons, possible mummies, I don't know how that would work. I don't have Mummy the Curse, and Hunter the Vigil, Changeling the Lost, and so forth. For those particular NPCs who happen to be a vampire, who happen to be a werewolf, that your PCs are going to interact with on a great deal and possibly even fight, and that particular supernatural being is going to be the antagonist of the Chronicle, I do suggest going through the regular character creation process, but that gives you a little bit more liberty to add or remove dots as you need or please. You're not limited to the starting dots of regular characters. You can put as many dots as you want, or as few dots as you want, for, say, mages or werewolves. What that does mean, if your party is going to end up fighting them in a physical confrontation at some point, you're gonna want them to be you're gonna want to possibly curve the XP gain, probably give them more beats, or even award them beats or award them experiences for finishing something, just so that they'd be able to handle taking on this super powerful antagonist later on down the road. This all really depends on what your needs are in your chronicle. But if you're just wanting to create a quick list of NPCs that you for a scene, and they're just going to a club, ignore that, that's just one of the dogs. So then you can just have a running list of names, ages, and concepts. It's that easy. So until the next video, until the next video.